Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC-Mura here, and in today's video we are gonna check out the season 5 changes for Poison. And if you were a Poison player like me, the changes in summary can be one word can summarize everything, and it is Bane. Poison got nerfed, and she got nerfed really hard, I think, and I honestly think she might be the single most nerfed character in this season. And it's weird to me that someone like Urian or Sis, no one cares if they are god tiers, but God forbid that a zoning character be good. If you notice on Twitter, people are mostly complaining that Dulcim got nerfed super hard. So out of all the characters that were really good, they decided to nerf Dulcim and Poison, but Sis and Urian, they can run wild, who no one cares. Anyways, let's check out the changes for Poison and let's see how bad these nerfs goes. The first change is of course to her standing medium kick. This used to be -2, now it is -4. I mean, this one is not that big of a deal because you always would special cancel this pretty much, but since you have less frame of advantage, this now is easier to get jumped out of. So for example, if your opponent is jumping forward, let's say for example Cammy is jumping forward here, you sometimes would do standing medium kick to medium raid. Some characters were able to jump out of that, some character wasn't able to jump out of that. Now everybody jumps, so good for you. The other change that Poison got was to her crouching medium punch, because of course the change is that it cannot hit cross-ups pretty much. It's here. Yeah, this happens pretty much now. If your opponent is gonna cross up, you cannot do that anymore. So this is a big change, of course. Crouching medium punch was one of the best anti-airs in the game. It still works really fine from the front, but you cannot really anti-air it if they are above your head or if they are jumping behind you. I think this is bad, but I kinda expected it because they don't, Poison's crouching medium punch was one of the most frustrating anti-airs to deal with. So I get this, and now you kinda have to jump back, medium punch, heavy punch. This is what you gotta do now. So there is an alternative. You're still not completely done, but and maybe with better spacing, you will not let them get into the cross-up range anyways. So this is a big change. This is a really big change. But I expected, I kind of felt that it was coming. I hoped that they wouldn't do it, but they've done and did it anyways. See, this upcoming one I didn't expect, honestly, that will make it, but Capcom likes to take a lot of tools. So what Capcom did here was that her Poison had a really good sweep. You could sweep your opponent and kinda set up a spacing trap. This is one of my favorite tools actually. So in this previous season, her sweep had a lot of range, so you could do something like what I'm gonna say is an example. You could use your crouching like heavy kick. Imagine me using the sweep here and getting a whiff punish like that, right? Setting up a whiff punish scenario. You will see Fudo was doing that a lot. You used to be able to do that with the sweep. Now you will almost get hit. They gave it the birdie treatment, right? Now you cannot pretty much do it without getting hit. This change happened to Karen, it happened to Birdie, so they don't like it when you are using spacing traps, right? The other change that Poison got is damage nerfs across the board. So Avant Line, this used to do 70, now does 60, medium. Pretty much every one of these got 10 damage nerfs, so less damage on your combos. This would do a 10 more damage, but now it's doing less. Light raid is doing 10 less, medium raid is doing 10 less. This launcher is doing 20 less. 20 is a lot actually. But I guess you still get combos out of a safe low, so it's not too bad, it's kinda fine. But it's still a ton of damage difference. Notice when Poison does a combo like that now, that used to do 380. Now it's doing 350, so it's doing a lot less damage. That used to do 380 damage, so she lost 50 damage on that combo, which is a lot. 50 damage is like 5% damage reduction. That is a lot. And the upcoming change is again another one that I kinda expected will come, and I'm more okay with that one than the changes to the anti-airs and the sweep, because I feel like this move was too cheap. It is the change to the EX heart rate. What Capcom did is now she is +1 instead of +2, and this have some very severe implications. +1s means that your opponent pretty much can now 3-frame, and if they do, they will beat your throw attempt, right? First of all, of course, they can backdash, and they can of course now 3-frame, and if they do, you will not be able to get the throw, right? So this have very big issues for Poison now. She have a 3-frame herself, so she can get a check like that, which is fine, but because she was +2 before, Poison used to be able to get a lot bigger on a counter hit. So let me show you the sequence. On a counter hit 4-frame from Poison, which you were able to do, like this was the couple of days ago, you could have gotten this out of it, right? If your opponent mashed, you could get the 262 damage. Now at best you are doing this, which is 130, or you are getting 150 on a bar. So you are losing at least 100 damage on the same guess that you made yesterday. So the combos are doing less damage, and even getting the right read is doing less damage. And because you are now at +1, another issue is that you can't check backdashes. So after the heart rate was blocked, this used to, actually I think she's still doing the crouching heavy bunch. So now if you do any 4-frame attack, the crouching light kick was used to shake them trying to walk back and to shake back dashes, and you would hit them grounded. This will hit them grounded like that. But now this will cause an air reset. So again, you now have to use your 3-frame for everything, which means not that great of conversions. So overall, nerfs across the board, and they also made it so that this is still +2 on hit. On hit you still get the same thing, and it didn't get damage reduction. So on hit now, if you want really good V-trigger 1 damage, you're gonna have to do that now. Which is still really high, but you know, you're gonna have to change your combo routes a little bit. Then they buffed her V skill 1. Honestly, no one cares, no one's ever gonna use this. What they did is that now when you do the V skill 1 into the medium kick, you get better juggles. So this now works. I mean, I guess it is welcome, but like no one cares about this V skill anyways. So, and that's 2 bars. So I don't know. It is an alright change. Maybe it does like 70 damage, and you're getting a little bit more damage here, but V skill 2 is so much better for utility. So pretty much they made it so that V skill 1 is for combo damage and V skill 2 is for utility. So this now is doing decent damage, while the V skill 2 is for utility, which is fine. I think that's a fair trade. I really do think that's a fair trade. V skill 2, the damage is reduced. So for example, if you manage to do something like that, you would do some combos like that with Poison, which now doing less. Basically, it all amounts to less combo damage, less damage across the board. The other change that she got was to her V trigger 2. They made the command grab a 5-frame command grab, which is really nice. Now if your opponent try to tech, like say for example Kami is trying to match her 3-frame. So this is +2. It's a real tech now. Your opponent cannot do much about it, but notice that the separation is longer. Now they are more further apart after the throw, so you don't really, you used to be in the standing heavy punch range, right? But not anymore. So guess you can still kinda do that, but now you are +1, so it's not even as good of a situation as it used to be. I'm not sure honestly, but I mean, okay, it's a fine change, but maybe V-Trigger 2 will be more significant. We'll have to wait and see. What they did is they also buffed the damage for the far range command grab by a lot actually. Now it used to do 150, now it's doing 180. And 180 is a really nice buff because now on a combo on that you are doing really good damage now. So that's really high damage output. Now you're getting really high damage with this V-Trigger 2. So what Capcom did is they improved V-Trigger 2 by a lot. They nerfed everything that made the V-Trigger 1. Because they also nerfed the bottle damage, by the way. So for V-Trigger 1, the bottle damage, this used to do 8, this used to do 60. The bottle used to do 60, now it's doing 40. And then they nerfed the damage of almost all of the specials. So the V-Trigger 1 combos are a lot weaker. And they buffed V-Trigger 2, so now it is a lot more appealing. At least you're getting, like I showed you, from a combo like that, you are getting really good damage. The reason that Poison player like myself like V-Trigger 1 is because of course you get to do burst damage, right? You get to do really high burst damage in combos like that one. You get to do a lot of... Pretty much you can do something like that, like from the mid range you can get a conversion like that. And maybe get a super. So V-Trigger 1 still have a lot of utility, right? It's just that you are doing less damage. Overall, Poison got nerfed. Like, I don't think any of the buffs are meaningful in any ways. Maybe V-Trigger 2 is not that bad, but there are nerfs across the board. The one thing that I think could be good for her is the V-Shift. I don't think Poison is gonna get affected from the V-Shift, and now she get to do stuff like that, which was hard for her before. Like something like the Kami dive kick, she used to be able, like, she would have to hold that, right? It was very hard for her to deal with that stuff, but now at least you have an answer. So I do think V-Shift will help her a little bit in that regard. So I don't know, will the V-Shift help Poison enough to counter all of the nerfs? I don't think she will be top tier anymore. It might be mid tier. I don't think she is weak to be low tier. I don't think she's low tier at all because they didn't nerf the utility of the tools. She still has the tools, all of the tools, except the crouching medium punch. This one's kind of, it's a forward anti-air only. You're gonna have to do the air to air a lot more. But pretty much all of the good tools that did high damage are gone. It's hard to say. It's honestly hard to say. I played, like, out of all the characters I've made the video so far, I played a little bit of Poison yesterday and in matches, and it felt alright. Like I was still getting the wins, but the harder matchups, like for example when you fought against Honda or Bison, you could power through the hard matchups because she used to do a lot of damage. These are a lot harder to power through now. It's a lot harder. You have to work so much more on the bad matchups. And so, to my surprise, they didn't touch the overheads, which is like, alright, I mean, that's weird. So they nerfed Poisons in the ways that made her solid, but kept her in the ways that made her scrubby. Anyways, if you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment. It helps the channel so much. Thank you very much for watching. Please check out the Patreon and Discord link in the description below. Once more time, thank you very much for watching and stay safe.